What's the most idiotic safety violation you saw an officer commit and blame on enlisted? Let me tell you about Lieutenant Carmichael and the day he nearly killed 6 people with a forklift. I was a warehouse specialist at Camp Humphreys in South Korea 2017. My job was boring as hell. Inventory management, shipping manifests, making sure equipment got where it needed to go. The most dangerous thing I dealt with was paper cuts and the occasional stubbed toe. Lieutenant Carmichael was our new platoon leader, fresh out of West Point, 23 years old, absolutely convinced he knew everything about logistics, despite never having operated a single piece of equipment in his life. He'd show up to the warehouse in his perfectly pressed uniform, give us lectures about efficiency, then disappear to whatever officers do all day. The forklift incident happened on a Tuesday. We were moving a shipment of artillery shells. Training rounds, but still explosive if you screwed up badly enough. Standard procedure was clear. Certified operators only. Maximum speed of 5 mph in the warehouse. Spotter required when moving hazmat. I was checking manifests when I heard the engine rev horn, looked up, and felt my stomach drop. Carmichael was behind the wheel of our largest forklift, the one rated for 10,000 pounds, with a full pallet of shells raised about 8 feet in the air. He was driving it. Fast. Sir, I shouted. Sir, you're not certified on that equipment. He laughed. Actually laughed. Specialist Dalton, I think I can handle a simple forklift. I've watched you guys do this 100 times. I could feel my pulse hammering in my ears. The smell of diesel and old concrete dust filled my nose. Sir, please stop the vehicle. Those shells are perfectly secure, he said, jerking the wheel to navigate around a support beam. The pallet swayed. I heard the straps creaking. That's when Sergeant Griffin came around the corner with 3 soldiers, Private Everett, Corporal Wade, and Specialist Quincy. They froze, seeing what was happening. Everybody back, I yelled, but Carmichael was already accelerating toward the loading dock. He hit a patch of oil. Something had leaked from a generator earlier that morning. The forklift's rear wheels lost traction. Everything went into slow motion. The vehicle spun sideways. The pallet lurched. I watched those shells, each one weighing 60 pounds, start to slide. Carmichael overcorrected, yanking the steering wheel hard right. The entire load toppled. 6 of us hit the deck. Shells crashed onto the concrete floor, rolling in every direction. One missed my head by maybe 6 inches. I felt the air move as it passed. The sound was deafening. Metal clanging against concrete. The forklift's engine screaming. Miraculously, none of them detonated. Training rounds have safeties, but still, we'd just come within inches of a catastrophic explosion. The silence afterward was worse than the noise. Just the sound of the forklift idling and 6 people breathing hard, checking themselves for injuries. Carmichael climbed out, his face pale. For about 3 seconds I thought he might actually take responsibility. Then he turned to me. Specialist Dalton, why wasn't that spill cleaned up? Your negligence nearly caused a disaster. My jaw clenched. Sir, I reported that leak to maintenance 2 hours ago. The work order, and why weren't proper safety barriers in place? Sergeant Griffin, why wasn't this area cordoned off? Griffin stared at him. Sir, you weren't authorized to. I want a full safety briefing conducted for all enlisted personnel by 0800 tomorrow. Clearly there's been a breakdown in protocol. He straightened his uniform. And someone get this mess cleaned up. I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking, not from fear anymore, but from pure rage. This idiot had nearly killed us, and he was going to make us take the fall. Sir, I said quietly, the warehouse has security cameras. His face went white. Every angle, every safety violation, all recorded. Sergeant Griffin caught on immediately. That's right, sir. For insurance purposes, the footage uploads automatically to division headquarters. It didn't, actually. Our cameras were ancient and barely worked. But Carmichael didn't know that. He stood there for a solid 10 seconds, then muttered something about filling out an incident report and practically ran out of the warehouse. Within 48 hours, investigators arrived. Turned out Griffin had called them directly, submitted his own report documenting everything. Multiple witnesses, physical evidence of the oil spill and the work order I'd filed. Carmichael got relieved of command, received a career-ending letter of reprimand, and spent his remaining military obligation doing administrative work at the Pentagon. Last I heard, he left the Army as soon as his commitment was up. The real kicker? The investigation discovered he'd falsified his forklift certification documents to impress his commander. He'd literally never operated one before that day. His first time behind the wheel, he chose to do it with 3,000 pounds of explosives. We got a new platoon leader, a Mustang officer who'd been enlisted for 12 years before commissioning. First thing he did was personally complete every certification for every piece of equipment in our warehouse. Said if he was going to lead us, he damn well better know how to do our jobs. And that oil spill that started everything, maintenance finally fixed the generator leak. Took them 15 minutes.